Has Arne Slot finally figured out his best starting 11? Well, probably not the ultimate best starting 11, but I think he's figured out something really, really important with this win over Real Madrid and the win over Aston Villa. I'm going to break down the current updated Liverpool starting 11, Arne Slot's best choices. Let's break it down right away because this is the channel that is all Liverpool all the time. It's all red. Please hit that like button and consider subscribing as we continue to cover the best club in the entire world. Also, you guys can become members. Get in there. You're going to get some content way sooner than everybody else. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. All right, Liverpool's best starting 11. Let's break it down. By the way, it's very cheap monthly. Liverpool's best starting 11. Let's dive right in. Okay, I'm going to give you the first and second choice options at each positions. Okay, Mohamed currently Liverpool's number one option, with Alisson Becker out. Now, when Alisson comes back, I think he comes in straight away, not because Mohamed has been bad, but because Alisson is still just so incredibly good. Now, I want to give Mohamed props. I think the first couple games with him were really shaky, and I think, he didn't make any massive mistakes, but I feel like he's really come into his own in the last two games against Aston Villa and now against Real Madrid. He is much more comfortable on the ball, and he's made some really, really good saves. The one that comes to mind is the Jude Bellingham pretty much point blank save, and he made some other really good saves against Real Madrid. And so I think Mohamed is really starting to gel with this core team and with his defenders. And we're starting to see he's able to facilitate from the back, similar to how Alisson Becker does that. And that's really encouraging. I think he's starting to really form some good partnerships with his back line there. Okay, and then we've got Woodman behind him. No really question marks there. Okay, Virgil van Dijk. And I'm putting Andy Robertson in as kind of the backup left center back. I don't think we really need to dive too much into that. But Virgil van Dijk, again, he's been shaky this season. I don't think he's been the issue or the problem per se, but it's good to see him leading that back line again, 2 clean sheets in a row. And of course, the captain is going to be in there. And then of course, Konate as well, with Joe Gomez behind him. But Van Dijk and Konate have looked much better. Konate still a little wee bit shaky against Madrid. He did give up some options and some chances. And then just, I'd say for Konate, he can win the ball in the air. It's questionable where that ball goes after he gets it out of the air. And I'd say there have been quite a few headers that have gone straight back to the opposition and given them some dangerous possession in their attacking third. But Van Dijk and Konate, again, with the rest of the team humming now, they look a lot more comfortable at the back, and that is excellent. So again, no really question marks here. I don't think anybody's going to debate me on these, but I think Andy Robertson has once again proved he is the starting left back in this team currently. He has been fantastic in the past 2 matches against Villa and against Madrid, and I don't think we can afford to experiment with Kirkez at the moment. We've got something really good going with this back line, and I think that is Andy Robertson in that left back position. And so, no, you don't get quite as much speed or energy as you do from Kirkez, but I think you get a lot more control, and that's what Liverpool need right now. And so Andy Robertson is the current best starting left back for this team. Opposite him, Connor Bradley Cobra. Again, similar to Mamardashvili, Connor Bradley kind of started shaky this year when he was called upon, and now I think we're seeing that he can integrate into this team well. Maybe he just needed a couple games to get his footing, but Connor Bradley has been fantastic, specifically against Madrid. I don't even think he played super well against Villa, but I thought he was absolutely fantastic. Maybe the player of the match, man of the match against Madrid. He loves playing against Real Madrid. We know that. But Connor Bradley right now is the starting right back. And we saw against Madrid what we were hoping he would be after Trent Alexander-Arnold left. And let's hope that continues. And I don't see any reason why it shouldn't. I think Connor Bradley has all the intangibles. He's got the physicality, he's got the speed, and I think he's got the mindset to do that. Now, big question mark with him is, can he stay healthy? And then, can he continue this good run of form? and maybe perform, better than what we've seen him do over the last 2 months. I hope he can do this away from Anfield. I hope he can do this in the Premier League in a sustained pattern. So that's my current back line. I think they've been fantastic in the past 2 matches, specifically because I think the rest of the team is playing better, which brings me into this midfield. Okay, Ryan Gravenberch, of course, will be starting any important game when he is available. He is one of the best, and he continues to prove that. He is fantastic. He didn't have a whole lot to do against Madrid, but he was still fantastic in possession and still very, very good in the middle of that park. He made it very difficult for Madrid to do anything in the center of the pitch, and that's why he's on there. Ryan Gravenberch, of course, is starting alongside Alexis McAllister. Come on, McAllister. He's back, guys. He's back, yes. Dude, this is the guy we've been missing. Alexis McAllister, I'll say it again, he was our best midfielder over the span of the entire last season. From start to finish, he was the best. Maybe not the best in the first half of the season, but he was good in the first half and he was good in the second. Even when guys like Ryan Gravenberch just got tired out. Alexis McAllister is back. We've seen him now against Villa and now against Real Madrid. He was the difference maker, and you love to see it. I love seeing him get fired up. Dude, his smile, right? I keep calling him Ryan McAllister. Alexis McAllister's smile. He smiles like an 8-year-old for school pictures, and I love it so much. And then just seeing him do the Trent Alexander-Arnold celebration. What a troll, man. He is a next level troll. But Ryan McAllister, what the heck? Alexis McAllister, fantastic. I hope this means he is truly back. I think it does. And behind him, I've got Curtis Jones, who I think can fill in really, really well. But if McAllister can continue this, we now have our core, that double pivot back, which was so incredibly important last season and makes Liverpool so much harder to break down and harder to stop when we get possession. Okay, ahead of these guys, I've got Dominik Szoboszlai, and I'm putting Florian Wirtz behind him because you just cannot drop Szoboszlai right now. I think he's probably been our best player over the entirety of the season so far. He is finally finding his own in this team. He's finally, I think, he's just kind of found it. I think he's found that it factor, and he is absolutely fantastic. So Dominik Szoboszlai is my attacking midfielder in this best starting 11. Now, some of these guys you'll see on here, I think if Liverpool, they've got a long list of injuries right now. Some of the guys on here may not be the actual best starting 11 when everyone is healthy. I think Dominik Szoboszlai, Alexis McAllister, and Ryan Gravenberch all are solidified. And I think the same is true probably for Van Dijk and this season Konate and Bradley and maybe Robertson. So we haven't really seen anybody yet, but I think we're going to get there. Okay. There he is again, Florian Wirtz. Guys, I hope this is obvious to Arne Slot. I don't know if Arne Slot bought Florian Wirtz to play him on the left wing, but you have to play Florian Wirtz on the left wing now. This guy was fantastic against Madrid. Listen, I've read some things online of probably rival fans trolling Florian Wirtz for his performance against Real Madrid. He was fantastic. In the first half alone, Florian Wirtz had he created as many chances as the entire Real Madrid team. Okay? His heat map off the charts. This is his position. And I really hope Arne Slot sees that and puts him there for the foreseeable future, because I think, I'm not going to slate Cody Gakpo. Some people really don't like him. I don't think he's that bad. I think Cody Gakpo is a great player for Liverpool. But you insert Florian Wirtz on that left side. Now we have so much more creativity. We are not beholden to a left winger who can only do one or two things with the ball. Florian Wirtz is a bag of tricks, and he is a workhorse, dude. He outran Dominik Szoboszlai in that game against Real Madrid, and he literally topped the charts for most distance covered. And that's what you want to see. I think that's why defensively we were so much harder to break down. You've got guys like Florian Wirtz and Dominik Szoboszlai just running literally everywhere on the pitch, and it just makes a world of difference. So I am starting Florian Wirtz in that left wing position from now on. Okay, this might get people out of their seats and into the comment section, but I am starting Federico Chiesa ahead of Mohamed Salah. You might think I'm crazy, but guys, I've watched enough Liverpool football over the past calendar year to know that Mohamed Salah, he can score goals and he can create moments of magic, but for the other 89 minutes of the game, it's really not good. And Mohamed Salah, a living legend, but I think he's lost a step or two. I thought he played okay against Madrid. He had some good moments, but ultimately, I think if you had Federico Chiesa across from Florian Wirtz on those two wings, there's so much class, so much touch, and just so much more control than what you get out of Mohamed Salah. Now, I think Mohamed Salah could still be an impact sub for this team, but I think starting Federico Chiesa on that right wing would do wonders for this team if you allowed him to play more than just 5 minutes at the end of matches with this starting 11 guys. This is ridiculous. I just get so excited at that. I don't know if we'll ever get to see it. I don't know if Arne Slot has something against Federico, but man, I would love to see this. Now, up top right now, it's got to be Hugo Ekitike, of course. I'm putting Chiesa kind of in behind him because Isak is not fit. Now, this could be the one position where if Isak does get fit and comes back, what do we do then? I think we still have options. I think you could put Ekitike maybe on the right wing and put Isak through the middle. You could have Wirtz and Ekitike kind of switching back and forth on the wings. You could have a lot of rotation there as well. And we know from just the pure volume of matches that Liverpool tend to play in a single season, it's not a bad option to have two really good strikers. But currently, Hugo Ekitike, the number one option. But man, if Isak can get back to his Newcastle levels and insert him into this lineup, I'm out of breath. Okay, it's hard to breathe. I'd love to know what you guys think. This gets me really excited. It really does, because I think we're starting to see the picture. We played the best game that I've seen Liverpool play in about 11 months, maybe 10 months against Real Madrid. And we looked really good against Aston Villa as well. And by the way, we had a lot of chances that I think on any other day probably get 2 more goals against a team like what we saw in Madrid against Madrid. So I think there's more goals in this team, which gets me really excited. And I just feel like the future is really bright. I don't want to overreact though, guys, because I just need to be honest with you. The two teams we just played, Aston Villa and Real Madrid, both did not try to do what other teams have done who have been successful against us. They did not pack it in and go for those long throw-ins and long set pieces and go for those second balls. Neither of those teams, Madrid or Villa, tried to do that. They played way more open, and I think that suits Liverpool. So I'm tempering my expectations, because the next time we come up against a Forest or a Palace or anybody like that who's going to try things like that, we could have issues. But I do feel like we've turned a corner, and I'm really excited for that. I hope you are too. Get your comments in below as always.